Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Growing Up with Godzilla. My name is Donny Winter, and this is my show where I have conversations with Godzilla fans about how they've grown with the character and franchise over time. We are right smack in the middle of season 4, and it's been going by so quickly, I don't even know where I am, who I am, what's happening, but it's great. So we've had some familiar faces returning, we've had some new faces appearing, and tonight's episode, I am so stoked to have this person on. Like, I can barely describe it. We've been planning this for a long time. And I would like to welcome on the incomparable artist and the leader of Planet X himself, Chris Wallace, or as we like to call him, Monster Zero.
Let's go. Oh my God. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello. How are you doing today? It
Oh,
is me, Monster Zero, on the lovely, lovely channel, Growing Up with Godzilla. I am honored to be here, Mr. Winter. Thank you for having me.
I am so happy to have you here. I We were just going on and on in the back room. Like, I think that your energy is so infectious, and I love what you do in the Godzilla
Dude.
fandom. And I think that you bring people together, and that's what we're all about here on Growing Up with
Stop.
Godzilla.
Oh my God, dude, you're so kind. I really appreciate it. For real. I do try to be the example that I want to see in the community. I try to be the exact, I try to bring that kind of energy that I want to be around. You know what I mean? And there's room for all of us out there. There's not enough Godzilla fans, but we get all there can always be more. And I want to be, and I want to, we all need to be together here, especially
Well,
during these crazy times.
absolutely. These dystopian hellscape times. And the truth is, like, the Godzilla fandom has grown so much
Yes,
since
it
the
has. Yes, it
MonsterVerse
has.
has happened, and since Godzilla minus one's success. Like, I think a lot of us, like, we were so used to living in that time where the Godzilla fandom felt like just like a smattering of small Facebook groups and forums. Now it's like huge groups, Discord servers, Reddit, what are they called, Reddit threads or whatever. Like, so many. Like, the Godzilla fandom is very much legion at this point.
Honestly, no, for real, for real. I couldn't agree anymore. And oh my God, I just can't believe I'm on Growing Up with Godzilla. Oh, all right. Oh, I'm sorry, but I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. There was a time when we felt so small and little. You could just message. Everybody in the community kind of knew each other in a way.
Yes.
You had your toy photography people, you had your artists, you had your movie fans, and it was a little bit before the MonsterVerse, and it was a little bit before 2019, I say.
Yeah.
Godzilla King of the Monsters. That was the turning point where I started noticing a lot more young people getting into the fandom. A lot more young people were like, "Oh, Godzilla's kind of like the stuff right now. Like this is kind of cool." So like, and then with the success of that, we got Godzilla versus Kong during COVID. That brought people back to the theaters. We got the success of Shin Godzilla. A little bit before that, a little bit like people were dipping their toe in it with Shin Godzilla, and then we got fucking Godzilla versus Kong. Then we got minus one. Floodgates are just full open. There are just so many people out here now. It's crazy. There's so many people in this fandom. You go to G Fest, it's packed.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so
Oh my God.
Chris, you told me that last year was your first G Fest, right? So,
That's right.
because
That's
I
right.
was trying to muse on, like, wait, did we meet at G Fest? So technically, I mean, I guess we kind of adjacently met. Like, we were able to, like,
Yeah.
wave at one another and be like, oh my God. But because G Fest is so hectic, we really did not get a chance to, like, sit down and have a conversation. Although I know in the future that's going to change. Okay,
100%.
what was your first G Fest like for you?
Oh my goodness. It was magical. Honestly, I've been to conventions before. I've been to my fair share of conventions and like done my fair share of panels here and there at these cons. So being at G Fest, like something that I've always known existed, and I've always wanted to be there because like I've been to, anime conventions and stuff, but like never something full on for my full interest. So my first taste of it was All Monsters Attack. I dipped my toe with that in 2023. And then July of 2024, Oh my god, it was magical, genuinely magical. It was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. I really can't wait to do it again. Oh my god, it's gonna be so great.
I know. I'm pretty excited as well. So, okay, well, I am obviously like the premise of the show is I like to really dive into everyone's histories as a Godzilla fan, right? Because we all
Mm-hmm.
have an entry point. We all have fallen in love with the franchise in some capacity, and I'm of course very curious about your own experience. So, how were you first introduced to Godzilla all the way from the beginning?
Okay. All right. All right. I tell this story a lot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I tell this story a lot, and I'm very very excited. Oh man. All right. Okay. So I was have my first exposure to Godzilla. Well, I and this is not just like my first exposure to Godzilla. This is my first core memory period. Like as a human being.
Mm,
Like it's the first time I gained consciousness and I was like, oh, like in the world and everything like that. Like I remember that moment very specifically, like as a grown man, as a 32-year-old man. It is a memory that I hold dear. It is one of my most cherished memories because I was 3 to 4 years old. Think I was, I really think I was 3 years old going on four in the late 90s. I was at my great aunt Gladys's house. I was in my jammies. I know I was in my jammies. I had a bowl of cereal. And I remember just like looking around the room and just like, what is this? Like, what am I? Like I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Like, it's like my first ever thoughts. Like, I'm actually thinking as a human being. I'm like, this is kind of freaky. This is kind of scary. And I looked to the television, her big old tube television, about like a about a 30-inch like tube television in her middle office room. It was her walls were sky blue. There's papers everywhere. There was a desk in the corner, a computer chair right there, her old rug right there in the center that had red and blue rings on it and stuff like that. I was sitting there like that, cross-legged, looking at the television. Godzilla 1985 was on. Or not Godzilla, 1985 was on. That movie right there. This thing, him, this guy, that
wow.
it was him. I remember the scene specifically. It was the scene where it was the laser trucks from the Japanese military. They were trying to lure Godzilla away, and they had those maser trucks that were shooting those red beams at him. It was like pew 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 pew, and you heard Godzilla's roar like a few times, and then you heard the stomp, and then it just cut to like this bridge and the tank going by, and then all of a sudden you just see Godzilla's foot just come like in frame and stomp like right there.
Mm.
Then it cuts right back to the maser tank and it's shooting the laser, and I'm like glued to the television. I'm like, and then it cuts to a wide shot of Godzilla 84 just sitting there turning like this to the camera.
You were dumbstruck as a child.
That was the greatest moment of my life. When I tell you that was the greatest moment of my life, that was the greatest moment of my life, I remember that. I will remember that on my deathbed. When my kids ask me, when my grandkids ask me, "Oh, did you have a good life?" And I'm like, Godzilla 1980.
That's it was
That's
that
going to be
scene.
me.
It was the
That
bridge.
that was my first exposure to Godzilla. That was my first exposure as a human being. I will always remember that. I will always remember just like how powerful that scene was to me, and just how cool that looked, and just like how that stood out to me. And it oh man, that was my very first exposure to the Godzilla franchise.
Wow, that's an interesting movie to have as like a first exposure too, because the movie is like so dark and like daunting and stuff like that
And
too,
political.
and
And
political. Even
like
the
it's
even the
crazy.
Americanized version was political in its own way.
It's insane. It was actually insane. And man, dude, that honeycomb got soggy. I was just staring at the TV after that, just like for the rest of the movie. And then I saw him like, fall in the volcano, and the explosion and it cinema, pure
Mind blown.
cinema.
Cinematic
Absolutely.
perfection.
Exactly. And I had to get more of it. And then after that, I remember watching The Lost World of Jurassic Park for the very first time.
An excellent conduit from one to the other, right?
Exactly, exactly. That same day, oh man, that was a good day. That was a really good day. Man, it was man, I love this franchise. I love that movie right there. It may not be the best, but it's one of my favorites. That ranks up there in the old Chris meter. I'll say that.
And you know what's amazing is we have your Aunt Gladys to thank.
Yes, and oh my gosh, like it listen, that woman right there, not only did she show me the goodness of that one, she showed me Godzilla versus the Thing. She
Mm.
showed me the first Godzilla film. She showed me, the Jurassic Park, what's that one film? What's that one film? It's not a Godzilla film. It's not like a Jurassic Park film. It's like that old 1940 style dinosaur film with like them in the desert and stuff like that and the blue T-Rex and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's an old Harryhausen film. It's like, stuff like that. And
yeah,
The
yeah.
Lost World, yeah, it's one of those. It's She showed me so much. She gave me the opportunity to be something that I am today. She introduced me to this wonderful franchise, and today just happens to be her birthday, the day of all days that I picked to talk about this. I didn't even realize until earlier today. I've been so caught up with everything, but today is
Wow.
her birthday, and happy birthday to her, and thank her for making me the man I am today. Because I would not be who I am. I would not know who I am. I would not have the life I have without this wonderful creature, this wonderful franchise, and without that beautiful woman.
Well, this isn't only a celebration of Godzilla here, it is also a celebration of her. So her
It is.
legacy is in our presence, and I am so excited to celebrate that with you. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored. And from my favorite series, One Piece, it is a saying I hold close to my heart. A person only truly dies when they are forgotten, and I will make sure she is never forgotten.
And this love of the franchise that she gave you is
Mhm.
immortalized here in a way when you think about it. So I'm glad that we get to experience that together. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so honored to be here, especially today of all days. This is Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to tell that story on oh man.
Oh.
And I have so much more to tell too. That woman, that oh man, dude, this franchise is I have oh man, the crazy life I have lived because of this franchise is insane. The amount of things that I have done because of just that one moment when I was a child watching this in my jammies at her house.
Mhm.
And so on and so forth. I would always keep going back over there, and she would just keep showing me just different movies and different things. Stay over there for multiple days, just on the weekends. Literally, I would just go over there like on a Friday night and just stay there till like Sunday morning, and just
So
go to
your
church with her on
so
Sunday morning.
your Aunt Gladys was a Godzilla fan then too, technically.
Technically, yeah. Her favorite film, I remember specifically. I took her to see this one. We saw 2014 together, and she looked at me after we got walked out of that theater, and she was like, "That was cool, but that wasn't no Space Godzilla though." And I was like, "Ah, ah."
You all heard it here. Aunt Gladys loved Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, and for that reason alone, we should celebrate that movie more, damn it.
No, for real. Honestly, that movie right there is just like that. Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, Godzilla '84, just two movies that I would always put on every time I was over, and I would watch Space Godzilla because I would have I remember there was a time at Best Buy she had a stack of VHSs because she found them, like the old VHSs, like the ones that like y'all know what I'm talking. Hang on, you know what I'm talking about. The old VHSs from Best Buy, you know the ones I'm
Oh,
talking
how
about.
could one
The ones with the
forget?
cool ass covers, exactly. Like she had a stack of those. She was like, pick two of them. She had like five of them, and I was like, I can't. I was like, I can't. You're holding me tight. And then she was nudging the Space Godzilla one because she wanted to watch that one because we caught it on Sci-Fi once. So, bro, oh man, I love that woman. I
Oh,
love God,
And
I
she
love this
had great
franchise so
taste
much.
too.
She did have good taste. She did have good taste. And she got me into King Kong, bro. Like, she loved King Kong. Like, she loved King Kong and Godzilla together. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. When I showed her Godzilla versus Kong in 2020, I went over her place and I showed it to her. She couldn't believe it. She was just like, look at what we're doing. She was like, they're finally back. And I was like, they are back. It's great.
Oh, I bet you she was mind blown by seeing like a modernized Godzilla versus Kong. Like, ooh.
It was magical. I wish I could have taken her to more movies back in later in her life, but
Hmm.
we had movie days whenever we could, and she her entire life, I I remember specifically, I gave her this Godzilla 84 Bandai figure. Not 84, it was 54. A 54 Bandai figure that I gave her just because I was like, "Here, like I want you to have it." And she kept it on her shelf her entire life. Her entire life, she just had it right there with her. She moved multiple times, but she always made sure to bring it with her. And it's it's nice. It's
Wow.
nice just to think about that. It's really really nice knowing that she kept that thing with her, and it made a reminder of me. And I'm just
That's
happy to. I'm so happy. I'm
that's
so
really
happy.
that's so wholesome. That is one of the most wholesome things I've heard. No, it's so important to have supportive family like that too, because like,
Oh my goodness.
and I think I was just mentioning this to Rachel in the last episode as well, but like, I think it's a universal experience for many Godzilla fans to be introduced to Godzilla by someone from a different generation, a family member, and like in a way that kind of just it really brings people together.
It
And
does. It really does.
yeah, and nobody can take that away. Like nobody can take away that communal experience of like, falling in love with the character, watching it with somebody we care about and carrying it forward, right? So, no, I think that's so important. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for allowing me to share it. Thank you for allowing me to let the world introduce the world to a wonderful woman who got me into Godzilla.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, okay. So you talked about like your childhood a bit. So as you branched into your teenage years, it sounds like you continued to fall in love with Godzilla, right? Because your aunt
Mm-hmm.
was exposing you to more films. Like, were there any other like aspects of the teenage years that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, sure. During my years with the franchise, I remember my family encouraged me as well. My aunts and my uncles and stuff like that. I would go over not just my great aunt Gladys's house. I would go over my aunt Beverly's house, my aunt Pot's house, and they would even put on movies for me. They'd be like, "Hey, I recorded this film for you if you want to watch it," and it'd be King Kong 2005, or it'd be Godzilla 98, or you know what I mean. And just the thought of that. I remember going over to my aunt Beverly's house, and she would keep Godzilla films for me. She would buy them like secondhand at like yard sales and stuff like that. And she'd be like, "Hey, like, you can't take these home with you because, keep them here just so whenever you're over here, here are your films and you can just go in our office and you can watch your movies and stuff." And here, and I'd bring my toys and stuff like that. I'd bring my drawings and I'd start drawing Godzilla and stuff, dabbling my toe in more art and stuff like that. And
Mm.
it was wonderful. And I also would, and in entering high school, getting away from middle school, I would use Godzilla and enter art contests and art projects and stuff like that. I Because I would love expressing myself and the angsty feelings I was feeling by either drawing Godzilla or drawing things that are similar to Godzilla,
Hmm.
making my own monsters, making my own kaiju and stuff like that.
What was the
And
what was the name of the first kaiju you created?
oh my god, dude, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. He's so mad that he doesn't have a name. All I know is that he was orange, he had black stripes, and he breathed fire. And but you know one thing I'm fucking mad about?
What?
Okay, I'm sorry if I swore,
No,
but
you
like,
can
oh
swear.
my
You can
god,
swear on this show. You're good.
I could swear. Oh,
You can. You
all
can
right, all right.
totally
Don't worry.
swear.
Don't. Okay, I'll be creative with it. But all right, you want to know what I'm fucking mad about?
What?
When I saw Shin Godzilla do the same goddamn thing that my fucking kaiju did in fucking high school, I was so mad but I was like, God damn, that's so cool.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, and I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but like in my own, because your route was art, right? My route was fan fiction. And in my fanfics, I literally had Godzilla and Mothra in like the mid 2000s having this symbiotic relationship, this like symbiotic connection. So when I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters, I was like, are you shitting me right now? Like,
Oh, I bet you were pissed.
I
Oh, I
okay, so
bet you
I
were
was mad,
pissed.
but I was also kind of like elated. I was like, oh my god, I'm seeing this represented. Like it was kind of validating in a way.
Yeah.
But then I was like,
Yeah.
where's the royalties? Like,
Honestly,
where's the name
pay
credit?
me. No, for real. Like at this point, it's just it's there comes a point in your artistic career where you have a symbiotic idea with somebody and you just look at them and you're just like, oh, we really thought of the same thing and we've never interacted before. But god damn it, the thing that I thought of is so beautiful.
Absolutely. No, like it's so true. So so it sounds like at a certain point art became like very centralized in your life, right?
Yes.
So and it's
Yes.
fast forward to now, like you are a pretty significant artist. Like you've had gallery showings I've seen,
Yes.
like which is so phenomenal, by the way. Um,
Thank you.
and
Thank you. I appreciate it.
how like I guess how does it feel going from that angsty teen artist to now seeing your work represented in like a gallery and online and all of these different important spaces?
It's a very difficult feeling to describe in a way. I'm going to try my best to, because that's a really good question. That's a really really good question. The first time I've ever been asked that. I'm still the same person and I was able to do the things that I've done not by trying to match other people, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it feels like a freeing in a way that I'm able to express myself and put my artwork out there, and people are able to interpret it in ways that they want
Mm-hmm.
and able to be inspired by it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel very humbled. I feel very happy. And I feel more motivated now because I know people that I love being able to create conversations with my art.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very nice because when I do make conversations, I'm able to get more ideas because maybe somebody out there will say something maybe I didn't think about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, like it's all about that connection, right? Like people who
Yes.
view our work or read our work, like I mean, we don't have control over what a person takes away, right? But all we can hope for is that it's enriching in some fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think that's a very beautiful way of looking at it too, because like once you put it out there, you put it out there, and then it's received in a very unique way from each individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, so thank you for sharing a bit about your artistic career because I think it's so important to realize that as Godzilla fans, like the love we have for this franchise and this character can do so much to shape us in ways we don't expect. Like our
Mm-hmm.
careers, for example. Like I know many times I've shared that like had it not been for writing Godzilla fan fiction, I wouldn't be a teacher. I wouldn't be a writer myself. Like those things like really can shape a person. And I think in any other conversation people might be like, "Oh, that's cringy." But really it isn't because
It shouldn't be.
it
No.
shouldn't be. Yeah, like as human beings, like we are inherently shaped by the things that we find influential, whether it be people, music, fiction, like all of that matters, right?
Honestly, no, you're right. You're
Yeah.
at 100% right. All of that does matter, and you shouldn't be shamed or seen as cringy for expressing yourself and putting something out there in the world, or just saying what motivated you, or saying what you love, or saying what you know you what inspired you.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So, okay, moving into adulthood. So obviously, like, now you're a successful artist, you have kind of grounded yourself, and like you also have like a YouTube presence. So like what made you start wanting to delve into that realm?
Honestly, it's because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to create a space that really just goes back to what I said. I really wanted to create a space that I wanted to see. I wanted
Mhm.
to see something and be a part of it, because back in 2021, 2022, I didn't have a lot of people to talk about Godzilla with, honestly.
Mhm.
I had myself and I had a couple friends here and there. Um, but nothing where it was like I had, a Discord server where I can just go in there and post something and just have a conversation, be like, hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Y'all see the news going on right now, and or stream something. It wasn't anything like that. So it was kind of sad, because I would be excited about something and I would record it and I would just upload it to my Facebook. Like there's on my Facebook, if you scroll back far enough, you'll see a video of me reacting to the Godzilla versus Kong trailer for the first time. Um, and I lost my goddamn mind.
As one should, right?
Yeah, honestly, in creating a space that I wanted to see, I also wanted to give other people a space where they could come and feel safe and talk about the things that they wanted to talk about, do the things that they want to do, express themselves, get advice, help each other, and grow as people and as places. Because if you ask my community one thing, I always give them hygiene tips, and I always tell them to fucking wash their ass, fucking wear deodorant, wash their face, like god damn it, drink water for the love of fucking God. You know what I mean? Like you need it because it's healthy and you're young and you need to take care of yourselves when you're young,
Mhm. Yep.
like for the love of God, like please. And don't worry if you can do skincare if you're a guy, like don't fucking worry about it. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. Like if you practice skincare, it's not bad. I do it every day. Just wash your face.
Nothing feels better than waking up and having a fresh, dewy skin after doing your basic face care. Like it's so important. It's so important.
It is so important. Your skin will glow, your skin will thank you. I mean, for God's sakes, and you'll look young forever, for God's
Yeah,
sakes. I
and
mean
when
it.
you're in your mid 30s like me, you'll have people being like, "Oh, I thought you were in your mid 20s." Like every now and then I'll be like, "Oh, you're not just saying that, are you?" And then I'm like, hey, all those times I washed my face, there we go."
Exactly. See, you're thanking yourself right now. See, it pays off. It pays
Oh.
off.
But then again,
But
I am kind
but
of a
I
vain person, so
no, not at all. Not at all. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. But that's really it. I just kind of wanted to dabble into the streaming and the YouTube because I want to make a space for people that they can feel safe in. It's I feel like it's fun to do. I love playing games. I love entertaining people. I love making people laugh. And if I can do it with my interests and your interests, get you into Godzilla, get you talking about something, make something, I'll bring you along for the painting. Because one of my paintings that was displayed in the galleries, I did on stream. I did it in front of people for like 3 months, and it was great. I would have art nights. God, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. It was wonderful,
that
wonderful,
sounds
wonderful.
so fun. And that sounds
It
so
is fun.
engaging, right? Oh my
It
goodness.
is. It is. It's fun because like not only are you not only are you making something, you're the audience is a part of something as well. So like whenever I just talk about my painting, I'm like, yeah, I painted this live, and I feel like I was connected to people when I did it, because now I wasn't the only one who saw this thing become what it was. You all saw the ugly phase. You saw the ugly, the ugly phase. You saw it become what it become what it became. You saw the steps. Y'all saw the mistakes. You saw the passion. Y'all saw everything, and it's great. Like, and I think about that painting specifically. It's my King Kong painting. I think about that specifically, and that time I streamed it, and I love it. I'm so happy that I did it. I'm so happy I was able to bring my audience along for the ride with that one.
Mm. Oh, that makes me so happy. I okay, so I do have some indulgent questions to ask you because you
Absolutely.
know I love to examine people's favorites. So, if you were to identify your top 3 favorite Godzilla films right now, which ones would they be and why?
Fuck you. All right. All right. All
I
right. All right.
know
I
I'm
know
gonna make
your
you
games.
lose.
Fuck. All right. All right. Fuck. All right. All right. I have it written down too, but like the worst part is I have like, yes, I'm counting 10. I have 10 written down. Fuck. All right.
Okay, so I will be diplomatic. What is your top
No, 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 no.
5?
No, 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 no. I want to do the three. I want
Oh,
to do the three.
okay.
I want to do it
Okay,
right.
okay.
I want to do it right. Shin Godzilla.
Oh my goodness.
You're too loud. You're too loud. You're too loud. All
Okay.
right. All right.
Okay. So, that was your 3, right? That was your third position film.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
A good one, honestly.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think so. I know a lot of people. If I say Shin Godzilla is like top 3 for me right now, or just top 3 in general, people would look at me and they crucify me. But
Chris,
hey,
we're gonna ride it dawn for Shin Godzilla because you know what? I think people need to take another look. I think they do.
I think it's really good. I think it's pretty good. I think it embodies what Godzilla is. I think it embodies. All right, I won't get into that. But all right, oh, number two. One of my favorites right now, genuinely. Like I can just pop this in at any moment and just like watch it. God, this list is gonna be so fucking cliche. You know what? Fuck it. Throwing you a curveball. Godzilla versus Hedorah.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
I love that film. I think Bono's a genius.
an artistic genius. That film, I really think. So for me, that film is very much up there with Godzilla versus Biollante when it comes to like the aesthetics, right?
Yes,
Because like it's
yes,
so indicatively like late 60s, early 70s industrialism kind of thing.
exactly.
And Godzilla
Yes,
versus Biollante is like that late well that Cold War bioengineering doom and gloom like no. Great number 2.
thank you, thank you. And this is just for right now. Like this list fluctuates all the time, but like I love Hedorah. I just watched it recently. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoyed it now. I and as an artist myself who wants to do things differently, I just think the movie's just really fun. I think it's cool. I think it's really really cool.
Hmm. Agreed.
And number one is it's simple. It's -1. I think -1 is brilliant. I think -1 is fucking. I think
You were
-1
so
is brilliant.
suspenseful with the other 2, and then you're like, oh, -1. Because
I'm never gonna let him guess my next move.
I love it. No, -1 is iconic. So tell me how your feelings processed your first viewing of -1.
As somebody who wasn't feeling life at the time, watching -1, because I was going through, you know, like because I needed that movie at a time in my life, when I was feeling very low,
Hmm.
and the movie came out and it affected me and reached out to me and spoke to me in a way that made me happy, that made me feeling hopeful, that made me feel human. And it came from a fucking Godzilla film, bro.
Hmm. Which we would never expect, right?
No, for real. For
Right.
real.
I am so glad that -1 did that for you, though. Like, that's like, I mean, the mental health messaging of that film, I think it should be studied for decades because it like I think it has a way of making people feel seen for something they're not sure what they're being seen for. Does that make sense?
I do, yes. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like that movie is very important. it's going to be very important. And not only does I believe it does something very well for representation of people in that era, I believe it also does beautiful representation of mental health and showing the struggles of moving on from trauma and dealing with it in a time where you people didn't talk about it. So
Mhm.
I can't wait to see what else Yamazaki does.
Right,
I
because we're
can't
gonna
wait
get a
to see.
sequel,
We are.
and
Oh man, if he names it -2, I'm gonna shoot myself. I'm saying that right now.
I'm gonna crap my pants. Like, I'm just gonna be like, "What?" Like, I just ooh. No, so well, okay, so you've shared your top 3, which is a phenomenal top 3, by the way. So if we do a closer examination, are there any particular kaiju outside of Godzilla or human characters specifically that you're drawn to? And if so, like, what draws you to them?
Yes, uh, Doctor Serizawa, from Godzilla 1954. Um, I he is a character that I've always admired. I've always looked at, and I've admired for a reason that I don't feel anybody really talks about.
Mhm.
It's his kindness. It's his it's his kindness and his willingness to not end up being a dick, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I feel like life hasn't treated him very fair. I feel like the things that he has been through, the love that he's lost, that he knows that he would never have, um, the weapon that he created, the stress of dealing with that, dealing with like just knowing, and after living through a country and a war that you've seen, change the trajectory of your country for the rest of its life, for the rest of your life, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, and then ending up creating a weapon that not only could, give the people who hurt your country the ability to do it again, but like you opened up the floodgates to another weapon that could end humanity, could end the world itself. And you don't want to unleash that on anybody. So the amount of stress that man went to, and the fact that he didn't become a giant, huge asshole is kind of incredible, in my
Mhm.
opinion. Like he looked at the love of his life and he understood, like, I'm out of this. I'm not, there's nothing I can do. Like, there's nothing that I can say. There's nothing that I can grab or just like or just like just like read to you. Like there's nothing. Like we are
Mhm.
you love him and that is it.
Yeah.
And he gave up and he saved Ogata for that reason, and he sacrificed himself, you know what I mean? He was like, and he said it like, you and Emiko live long and I like and love each other. And he took Godzilla with him because he had wanted hope for his country and hope for his friends and his love. And the fact that life dealt him such a cruel hand and he still ended up being such a kind man is just kind of incredible, in my opinion. And I don't feel anybody really talks about his kindness
Yeah.
and his love for humanity in a way.
Yeah, I no, I agree with you completely. A great character selection for sure. And I know a lot of people when Godzilla Minus One came out, they were like, "Oh, like this is some of the best human characters ever," because a lot of people are very upfront about Godzilla not having good human characters, but I would argue that there are some Godzilla films that really do. Like the first Godzilla
100%.
film, especially, like had
Yes.
such really dynamic and engaging characters. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are absolutely right. And it's wonderful that when people do watch these films, they do get into the newer stuff like -1 or Shin Godzilla, and then they'll go back and give the first film a chance. They're like, "Damn, this is dark. This is actually pretty. It's not as light as I thought it would be." And it's very melancholic. It doesn't end like on a high note. And you're right. You're absolutely right. These older films, even just besides the Showa era, some in the Heisei era and the Millennium era, all had great characters and great moments themselves. And I feel like some they do need their due diligence.
mhm, absolutely. Well, okay, so you've named your human. What is your top favorite kaiju?
Besides Godzilla,
Absolutely.
Kong,
Yes. Good.
100%, 100%. Honestly, I might be more of a Kong guy than a Godzilla guy, if I'm being honest.
There is nothing wrong with that. And I'm glad that you said so because I do feel like Kong sometimes gets a lot of unnecessary flack from Godzilla fans.
He does. No, he does. I genuinely think he does. He is seen as weak. He's seen as, abysmal, but he held that W for like 60 years. So that's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
And I think as a movie monster in general, he needs his respect. He needs his due diligence. He needs his time in the limelight, as an American monster. I think people seem to forget he was kind of like not one of the first kaiju, if not the first kaiju back on the big silver screen in the day.
Mm.
Like that big first like blockbuster in 32. He was it was him. It was him. Shiro Honda and who Subaraya, they were influenced by his film, by the original Kong.
Yeah.
And it's just such a I mean, oh man, I love the film personally. It's racist as shit, but I love
Oh,
that film.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love that.
I
It's
remember
racist as shit,
I
but I love
remember
that
watching
film.
it for the first time. I think I was an adult when I watched it for the first time. So like I was at the age where I was able to discern such things, and I was just like, that let's talk about that. Like let's re-examine that. No, but I really do like there are some people who've been very kind of vocal about not liking the trajectory of the monsterverse and how it's kind of gone and turned into like this dual like team of Godzilla and Kong, and I'm like, actually, I kind of like it. Like, it's something that I feel
I do
like
too.
should have been. I mean, it was kind of tapped into in the early '60s, but the fact that we went from then all the way to now without having that tapped into is kind of surprising. Like, so I'm glad that it's happening now because I think that Godzilla and Kong paired together are developing both of the characters in a unique way. On my wish list, I am really like Kong and Mothra met briefly, right? I want them to meet
First time in
again.
history too.
First
That was
time
the
in
first time in history.
history. I want them to meet again, and I want them to have a more like active like engagement with one another where they're like acknowledging each other's existence. Like that would be so cool to me. But anyway,
I want that so bad. No, that'd be great. That'd absolutely be great. Supernova, please.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so here is the big question of the hour. Okay, even though most of these have been big questions, but here is the super big question. How has Godzilla shaped you into who you are today?
Without this franchise, I would not be the man I am today. I would not be the person I am today. I would not have the interest I am today. I love this franchise so much. I wear it on my chest. I have the walls. I have the memorabilia. I love it all. I love it all so much. I wouldn't. Oh my god. I it shaped me, molded me so well,
Mhm.
so well. To the point where the relationships I have, the friendships that I have, friendships that have saved me, friendships that have molded me, friendships that have changed the trajectory of my life. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't have thanked it more. I really couldn't have. I couldn't. Oh man. Oh man. It shaped me so well. It
Wow.
shaped me so well. The career I have, the friends I have, the love I have. It's all because of this. All because of this.
I'm obsessed. That's wonderful though. Like, and again, I relate very much so to that too. So, okay, well, I would be ignorant if I didn't ask you about collecting as well, right?
Oh my
So,
goodness.
do
Oh my
you
goodness.
like do you identify as a collector, and when did you start collecting and how far has your collecting gone?
I fuck man. Fuck. I would consider myself a collector, but I feel like my collection is abysmal. It's like
Hey, that is a completely valid collection though.
I appreciate it. Thank you. But oh man, I would consider myself a pretty okay collector. Nothing too crazy. I just love articulated figures like Monster Arts and Haya and NECA. I am a sucker for any of those figures, the Playmates and stuff like that. I love them all. I am more willing to buy that Spend money on that. I collect Jurassic Park toys. I collect Transformers. I have a box of dinosaurs in my attic I need to get out because it's Jurassic June.
Yes,
But
yes. No, so well, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. I mean, my collection's not like super duper huge either, and like I feel like there's kind of like this implication that you have to have like a big collection. I don't really think you do.
yes,
Like as long
thank
as the
you.
items in your collection mean something to you in some way, like that is what matters. Even if it's just like one small thing that you have or a poster or you know,
Yes.
itty bitty Mothra figurine. It matters, right?
Oh my God. See, you get it. See, you understand. See, you understand. It does. It isn't about the number of things you have. It's about the things that you have in general that mean a lot to you.
Hmm.
They don't. You don't, like you said. You don't need a huge collection. You don't need things to show off. Like the things that mean the most to me is I have a NECA 54 that my aunt bought me for like one of my birthdays a
Hmm.
long time ago that I kept. I have some figures that Oh My Godzilla gave me. I have some figures from my buddy Lewis. I have figures from my buddy Seismic in my collection. Like God, I love them. Shout out to Oh My Godzilla. Shout out to Seismic. Shout out to Louis Duran. Subscribe to them.
All wonderful
They're
human
my boys.
beings.
They are. They're my boys. But what was I gonna say? I don't have a huge collection. I just have the things from them and the things that I hold dear, and it means the world to me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I love the stuff that I got. I'm holding them dear. I love your collection too,
Oh, thank
Mr.
you.
Winter. Oh, look at that. I see that Mothra back there.
My
I
little
see the statue.
plushies, my little statue, my little I love collecting the not I love collecting the plushes. Like they make me
Oh my
so happy.
god.
No, and it's funny because like when I was younger, I wanted the actual like the figures and stuff. I'm like, but now that I'm older, I'm like, no, like I want fluffy things. I want a Mothra blanket. Like I want my Mothra blanket.
I'm so mad.
I spent $70 on the damn thing at G Fest and found it online for 40, and I'm like, well, what are you gonna do?
You paid for the convenience. You paid for the
I
convenience to have it. You paid
did.
$30 convenience fee.
I did. But and you know what? I don't regret it. I really
Let's
don't. I
go.
really don't.
Let's go. It's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. So I do have one final question for you.
Hit me.
Do you have any advice for Godzilla fans who are new to the franchise?
I do. I do. I do. Do not be intimidated. Do not be intimidated by the franchise, the amount of movies, and don't even be intimidated by the fandom. Go in blind. Ignore the fandom. Might be good for in the long run anyway. I love the fandom, but ignore them right now. But go in there and just enjoy the films, enjoy and watch the ones you want to watch them in any order you want to watch them. It doesn't necessarily matter. You don't have to watch Showa first and then Heisei and then Millennium like we did. Just go in any order you want, watch the version you want to watch. Doesn't matter if it's English dub, doesn't matter if it's the original Japanese subtitles. Like, don't let anybody shame you. Don't let anybody tell you you're doing it wrong. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to be like this. You are doing it right. You are valid. You are okay.
Mm,
And this fandom doesn't have to be a bunch of horse shit like sometimes it is, but
yeah.
it can be, but it can be very nice because there are people there who want to introduce you, who want you to love this franchise and want to introduce you with a warm hand, and just open the floodgates open to you. Like, 'cause there's so much to
Mhm.
love about this franchise. It really is. It really is.
I couldn't agree more. And do you have any like encouraging words for like artists who may be interested in like starting and so on and so forth?
Yes. Never stop being yourself. For real. Never stop being who you are. Don't never be afraid to express yourself with your paintings, with your music, with your writing, with anything that you do that you consider art. Um, that is very important. We need artists now more than ever to speak out
Yes.
to say the things that people won't say. We need people to speak up for the little guys, the people who can't speak for themselves. If you can't communicate with words, I know people who can't communicate with words. I advocate for them all the time. They can, just because they can't speak doesn't mean they can't communicate. They use art, they use music, they use writing and other forms of communication to express themselves. And that is something that we need. We need that in the arts. We need it today. And this my word to you, young artists, is to be yourself. Don't be afraid, and be open to teaching. Be open to teaching the people younger than us, because without the young people, without them learning, we would not have the artists we have today. We
Hmm.
have to nurture them. We have to learn. We have to teach, and never be afraid of learning. I know I'm yapping, but I mean all of this. Never be afraid of learning. Never be afraid of saying you don't know. Never be
Hmm.
afraid of asking questions. But once you learn these questions and once you learn these answers, do not be afraid to pass them down. Pass them down to the next generation, and then you pass that down and tell them to love themselves and to love other artists and stuff like that, so they can learn as well. That's what we need. We need people learning. We need people understanding. We need people being open to learn, and always being open to learn, and people willing to teach.
Ooh, that gave me goosebumps. Ooh, ooh. As a teacher, you validated every bone of my body. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
No, I
oh,
mean that. I mean that.
that was wonderful. No, so Chris, this has been a wonderful conversation. Where can people follow you? Where can people find your stuff?
Oh my God. If you want to follow me, follow the name Monster Zero. You can follow me on YouTube and Twitch. Same name, Monster ZRO underscore ZRO. Follow me there for daily streams. When I come back, I'm going to be back here in the next week. We're going to be streaming games, just talking about that, getting ready for G Fest, get building up hype. You can follow me for my art and my other posts and memes and stuff on my Instagram at YOLO Swag Senpai, and that is where you can find most of, me personally, the things that I do, things that I stand for: trans rights, free
Trans rights,
Palestine,
yes. Free
uh
Palestine,
uh
yes.
fuck ICE. So
Yes.
yes. So yes,
Hmm.
love is freedom. Never be afraid to love who you want to love. Yes, that is all I got to say, and say that on that matter. I stand with you and I hear you.
That personally, I think that's the perfect way to end the episode, my friends. This has been a great conversation. Chris, you are wonderful. Thank you
You're
for
wonderful.
oh, thank you. Thank you for all that you do to enrich this fandom. And thank you for your insight. And most importantly, I thank your Aunt Gladys for
Yes.
shaping this wonderful human being in front of me.
Happy
100%.
birthday, Auntie. Happy birthday, Auntie. I miss you.
Have a good rest of your night, everyone. Don't forget, Growing Up with Godzilla premieres on the first, well, most Sundays at 4 p.m. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, go follow Chris's socials, and most importantly, do not forget to keep standing tall, Godzilla fans. Bye.